Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. This is your go-to podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host, and today we have a very special episode lined up for you. But before I tell you all about our two next guests, and I see them backstage, and they can't wait to come and talk to you. They are ready to come on with us. But before we tell you all about that, let's do a little housekeeping. We want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for tonight's event. Graphics are Chase, P5 Solutions, and as always, a Diamond Dynasty apparel collection, Greek apparel collection. I also want to let you know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms, including our YouTube channel, which is Dr. B TV. That's the word doctor spelled out. DOCTOR, the letter B as in boy, TV. And also our other platforms, Good Faith Wellness Center on Instagram and Good Faith Wellness Center as well on Facebook. So just want to let you know about that. So please follow, like, share, and subscribe. And also, one other thing we want to let you all know, a lot of people continue to ask us, what is Good Faith Wellness Center? Where is it? This is a brand new clinic. We're about 1 year into business, and we've had a fantastic time treating the citizens and all of you good people in Jackson and all the surrounding areas. Brand new clinic, family medicine. We also have integrated practice with chiropractic care and internal medicine. And right now, I feel like an infomercial. For the rest of this month of November and for the month of December, all new patients, we will waive your copay. That's never been done before. So hear me clearly. At Good Faith Wellness Center, coming to see yours truly, Dr. Michael Bookhardt, we will make sure that if you're utilizing insurance, we will waive your copay for the month of November and the entire month of December. That is for new patients coming on. All right. Now, let's do one other thing. I want to tell you all about Cryo and Contour. Let's get this up right here. I want to tell you about this amazing couple and what they're doing. Dr. Lorina Poe is board certified by the American Academy of Family Medicine. She has been practicing medicine for more than a decade. She's originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Dr. Poe completed her bachelor's degree in psychology at Fisk University in 2001, prior to attending Meharry Medical College, where she obtained her Master's of Science in Public Health and also her medical degree. After medical school, Dr. Poe completed residency at the Medical College of Wisconsin. She's a board-certified family medicine physician. And prior to opening Cryo and Contour with her husband, she served as the assistant professor in the School of Medicine at Vanderbilt University and as a primary care physician in the Vanderbilt Health and Medical Group Network. Dr. Poe and her husband, Javon, they reside in Nolensville, Tennessee, with their 3 children. So, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Lorina and Javon Poe.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction.
We set it up good. We set it up for you.
Yeah. So we're really glad to be on your show here and be able to spread the news about being healthy to your patient and your viewers.
Absolutely. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing well.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate you all coming on the show, and you know, every single Tuesday we come on and we always kind of get to it at first. We'll start off and some of the comments and questions, they kind of trickle in, and then around 7:30, man, we're just full steam ahead, and then we run out of time. So I'm gonna get right to it. Unless I left out anything. I know we had a big write-up on you, Dr. Poe. I don't know if Javon, your wonderful husband, I don't know if you want to add anything to the bio or tell us about yourself as well.
Well, my background is in education and business. So when we started up the clinic, I decided to pretty much quit my job, and run the clinic. So we're partnered up. She does the medical side, and I do the business side. So it's a good partnership because, as opposed to just one individual trying to do everything, it's good to be able to break it up and share the responsibilities.
So absolutely, absolutely, because you can have all the medicine in the world, but without the money, we can't run that clinic. So
Can't run that clinic.
that's right. Well, look, guys, we'll get right into it. Can you guys tell us what Cryo Contour is all about?
Sure.
Yeah, basically, just to give you a little background, so Dr. Poe, she was working as a primary care physician, and she noticed that most of her patients suffer from weight-related illnesses. So it seemed like she just spent all her time just treating symptoms, doing like nutritional consultations, things like that. So she was treating symptoms, giving them medicine for diabetes, medicine for high blood pressure, medicine for cholesterol, but she really wasn't being able to cure what was going on with them. So she felt like, hey, you know what? If I open up a medical weight loss clinic, that'll cure like 85% of the problems out there. So that's what prompted us to start this up. So we wanted it to be like a one stop shop where they can come here and we can take care of everything with them just holistically. So we didn't want it to be like all the other programs out there because you could pretty much go anywhere and lose weight. But when
That's
you
right.
stop the program, what happens? You gain the weight back.
Uh-huh.
So we wanted to address why you actually had the weight because other places they address the weight, but the weight is not really the problem. The weight is a symptom of an underlying problem.
Mm,
So we find out what that underlying problem is. Why do you have the excess weight? And it could be a variety of reasons. You could overeat, it could be emotional, you can also undereat. There's a lot of people that's so busy that they wake up in the morning, they'll drink coffee and go to work. Then
right.
you look up, it's 2 o'clock, they haven't eaten anything all day. You know what? Let me just eat a quick snack of something and then that's it. They don't eat again until that night when they get home. They might binge or eat the wrong thing. What they're doing is constantly putting their body in starvation mode. They're gaining weight. So we address a variety of issues like that. But
Hmm.
the program is not really just, a meal plan and we take your weight meal and phentermine or
Mm,
semaglutide. That's not our program. We just don't suppress your appetite and give you a meal plan. We
right.
put together a comprehensive program that pretty much addresses nutrition, fitness, and behavior. Behavior being the big part. It's pretty much like taking a college course in getting healthy. So our
Okay.
program is set up where we're having regular meetings, regular doctor visits,
Right.
and we're teaching you about nutrition, fitness, and your behavior. An example could be goals. Like, what's the goals that we like? Star
Yeah,
goals,
smart goals,
smart
smart
goals.
goals.
Hmm.
Uh,
Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time oriented. So anytime you set a goal for yourself, you want it to have all those characteristics. So if you had
Right.
a goal to lose weight, you can think about losing weight all week long, but that doesn't mean you're going to lose it, right?
I mean, you're gonna do it.
So if you have smart goals, so they're specific, um, they're measurable, attainable, and realistic,
Mm,
then we break that down and what does that mean? So you can't have a goal of losing weight. That's an output goal. So you can have that. That'll be the output result or the outcome.
that's
But
right.
the input goals are what are we going to do to get the output goal? So what are we going to do to lose that 5 pounds, that 50 pounds, that 75 pounds? We're
Hmm.
going to have a plan and we come up with a plan together.
right. The plan with the patient. So right. And and it's real customized, I would say, for the individual. So it's not just a one stop shop type of thing.
Yeah, one example I like to talk about is one patient in particular kind of taught me a lesson, I guess. So we were coming up with goals, and she told me that she had a membership to the gym, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, you got membership to the gym. All you got to do is go to the gym every day, and that will be your exercise goal, right?
Right,
But
right.
then she said that she had the membership for several years and she had not used it. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, why would I tell her to go to the gym if she's had this membership for all these years and hadn't taken
Exactly.
advantage of it?
Right.
So then from this point on, after meeting with her, I learned to say, okay, what do you like to do? What would you like your exercise goal to be? And she came up with, well, I live on a farm, so I'll just walk to the end of the farm and walk back after feeding the horses, and that's about a mile. I'm like, do that. Save your gym membership money. Right?
That's
So
right.
if you have a someone giving you an exercise routine, that doesn't mean anything. Especially if you don't like to exercise. A lot of my patients don't like to exercise because they feel like it's purposeless. So they want to be doing something like gardening or
Mm.
feed the horses or whatever, those kinds of things. And so you're more likely to accomplish them if you actually enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I know Javon, I love what you said. I know that I spoke with him, your husband, probably some months ago, and I was like, man, we got to get together. And even though we're in different states, I love what you guys are doing. I read up on you guys even, before we started doing Telehealth Tuesday. But I love what you said, Javon, about saying, hey, we're here. We're not just here to use like a Band-Aid type of thing. We're here to get down to the root of the problem. We want to fix things from here. It's not just about because basically anybody can just come and contour, or even if you have a good plastic surgeon, we can do whatever we want to do physically or anatomically, but to really get down to the root of the problem, from an internal or from a mental, standpoint, emotional standpoint, those are the things that cause people to gain weight, keep eating, or fatigue, depression, on top of the services, that you all offer. So fixing things from a holistic standpoint is amazing.
That's
Yep,
right.
exactly. And one of the things that we really stress to people is you have to know what your baselines are. You have to know where your starting point is. So we run them through the whole gamut of tests. We do a body composition analysis. Um, Ours is, I would say, on a higher level than what you could just go to the gym and get a body comp. They'll give you one of those basic scans.
Hmm.
Ours is the highest level, pretty much the most accurate on the market. So it's important to know, like, your like BMI. It's important to know how many pounds of fat you have in your body, how many pounds of muscle you have in your body, what's your hydration levels. One of the real important things is visceral fat.
Hmm.
So I know she likes to talk about visceral fat.
Yeah, that visceral fat there's so many aspects of that I like to discuss.
Hmm.
But one of them, I like to use that as a factor of health. So visceral fat, for people who don't know, is the fat around your organs that your body stores. So it can actually start intruding on your liver. That's a lot of the times people will find to have what's commonly called fatty liver.
That's
Um, but the organs, just have fat around them. And why did I have fat around my organs? And so
right.
we know that when you have increased amount of fat around the organs, that you're increased risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, heart attack. And so people like to ask, how do I get rid of this belly fat? Right. So there's two types of belly fat. There's the kind you can pinch, and then there's a visceral fat that's deep around the organs that can actually increase your waist circumference, even if you don't have fat that you can pinch. So a lot of times people will call it a beer belly, that kind of thing. People who
Right.
alcohol, it's like a hard balloon, right? But that's visceral fat inside. And so our machinery can tell exactly how much visceral fat you have. And it's very astounding the fact that within a week, we can decrease visceral fat.
Mm.
Right.
And
1 week.
the way we do that is by teaching the body that it doesn't need to store the fat. How do you teach your body that it doesn't need to store the fat? You give it enough nutrition.
Right.
So, like he mentioned before about people not eating enough food, if you're constantly telling your body that you're starving or there's a famine going on because you're drinking coffee, eating a small snack, and then waiting for dinner, you're teaching your body that it needs to store any extra that you put into it. It needs to store it because it doesn't know if you're going to eat tomorrow. And so
Mm.
once you train your body, okay, 4 times a day, it's going to actually be getting something. Your body's really quick about learning. As we get older, it takes a little bit more time for your body to respond because it's used to you doing a certain pattern. But teaching your body by eating 4 times a day, and even if you set your alarm clock, even if you're not hungry, because I get a lot of patients say, "Well, I don't feel hungry at breakfast time." But once they start eating this a little something, then they start to get hungry before the alarm clock goes off, right? And then
Mhm.
visceral fat steadily decreases.
Yeah.
Interesting. I appreciate that. I appreciate you all educating us on that and the visceral fat. We've got a couple of comments pouring in. Look, I knew this was going to be, and I guess people say, man, you say that every Tuesday. Like, oh, this is going to be the best episode ever. But look, the this is obviously, I think, going to be one of the most interesting episodes ever because so many people, I know that you all get them, coming to your clinic asking for, Manjaro, Ozempic,
Mhm.
Zepbound, and all this, Wegovy, all this stuff. Um, so this is something that is plaguing America. We all know the facts on obesity, and especially here, I'm not as well versed on what's going on in Tennessee with that, but we know that in Mississippi, I mean, let's face it,
We're right next to you. We're right next to you.
bro. Yeah. There's some big folks there.
Yeah, with the statistics and the proximity of the state, we're right there with you.
Well, you're right there. That's right. So, but yeah, anyway, where I was going with that. So I know that we're going to have a lot of great participation. So look, as we say every week, everyone, we are here live. I have got these good people, the experts, right here for you to ask questions live. So let's get right into it. Antonio Ward, my good friend from Huntsville, Alabama, says that I saw Dr. I know who you're talking. I think that's the spelling. It. We'll say Dr. G talked about the mental connection to obesity, and he was asking about fat on the inside. And yeah, Antonio, that's what they were talking about. They were referencing the visceral fat. That's what she was talking about on that one. Miss Lynn, let's see. Let's put these up on the monitor. Miss Lynn 601. What can a person expect at their first visit to Cryo and Contour?
All right, excellent question. So the initial visit consists of a meeting with Javon. Actually, he does our initial orientations to educate our patients about what the programs are that we offer, and then they would see me as their second visit, so he can explain about what he talks about.
Right. So basically, I'll go over the program and what it entails, what the expectations are, realistic expectations, and to really see if this is the program for you. So our program is high level. You're losing about 3 to 5 pounds per week on our
Oh, per
program
week, per week.
per week, and
Wow.
that's because we're ideally replacing your meals with our meal replacements. Now, our meal replacements they consist of shakes, smoothies, candy bars, puddings, things like that, but they are nutritionally complete meals. They're medical grade, so it's not something you could go in GNC or the vitamin shop and get. You
Okay.
can only get it from a physician, and it was basically created because, let's say, for example, people were needing to get a surgery. They had to lose weight to get this surgery. So usually people would just stop eating, but they'll end up malnourished. Now they can't get the surgery, and so they're not healthy enough. So these meals are pretty much what if we can put all your nutrition in the least amount of calories possible. That's
Oh,
what it is. So you're getting all your nutrition, you're getting a high level of protein with it. So I explain all this to the customer, and then if they want to proceed in the program, they we have a screening visit. So the program comes in 4 phases. The screening visit will be that first medical examination. and that's a comprehensive examination. It takes about 90 minutes. So we're pretty much doing the body composition. We're doing labs to get a baseline of where all your labs are.
Mhm.
Um, she EKG. Actually, we do an EKG for every 50 pounds lost. We do a psych evaluation. It's pretty much a questionnaire to see what's going on with you and how we need to cater the program to
Mhm.
for your specific needs. And so it's a full medical examination where we run the gamut of tests. So that will be day one. And then from that point, if you move forward in the program, that's when you would go through the other phases of the program.
So we'll meet weekly after that initial screening visit. And that first week, we're going to go over all of your labs line by line. And so those labs composed of the CMP, lipid panel, hemoglobin A1C.
Mhm.
And sometimes people will opt for the hormone panel. And so that would involve testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, vitamin D. A lot of people don't realize that vitamin D is a basis for our hormone molecules, right?
That's right. That's right.
And so, if your vitamin D is low, it's going to be very hard for your body to make estrogen and testosterone and different things like that. So, it's very important to see your primary care doctor so that you can get these numbers and know exactly what your needs are, your requirements are. And it's a lot of times I find that when we get lab results, it puts more of an urgency on people when they notice that things aren't they're not as healthy as they thought they were, then they're more likely to be more persistent and strive to reach the goals of the program and identify personalized goals as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, before we take, because the questions are they're pouring in. I'm telling you, man. I don't know if you guys can see them on your screen, but I got them on the left of my screen, and they are pouring in. So we're going to get right to it. But I want to pause real quick to talk about that vitamin D because I'm so glad you said that, folks. Vitamin D is so important, and especially African Americans. It can be really anybody who's not going outside, who's not exposed to sun, but especially we see that in probably, I would say about 60% of my patients, their vitamin D is always low. And so you just heard it right there. You're not going to be able to get anywhere, from a hormone standpoint if your vitamin D is low. So that's why, like they said, you got to see your primary care doctor. So that's a little bit of a shameless plug there, but okay.
That's fine.
All right. Let's see here. So we answered that question. Jasmine Briscoe, let's put that up on the monitor. Jasmine says, what is your opinion with manual lymphatic drainage and body fats?
My opinion on manual lymphatic drainage and body fat. So I think people's lymphatic system can get clogged up, and our lymphatic system actually can remove a lot of things, toxins. It can actually move immune cells to help healing. And a lot of times people aren't healing properly because their lymph system is clogged. And how does it get clogged? Mostly, number one is being sedentary. So,
Boom.
so being sedentary. So there are people who can actually can't really walk, right? They can't get up and move because of different ailments. And one of those ailments is I didn't think I was going to be talking about this today, but lipedema. And so I highly recommend manual lymphatic drainage for people who have lipedema. So lipedema is different from lymphedema. Both of those diagnoses can benefit from lymphatic massage. But if your if you're losing weight, so basically your solid fat is turning to liquid and converting to energy, you want to remove that fat from your body. And that happens through the highway of the lymphatic system. If the highway is full of traffic, then it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to get restored. And so you're not going to really lose fat. And so you can hire someone to actually move the lymph in your system for you if you're not able to get up and move around. And even sometimes if we're moving, we're not doing enough or drinking enough water I was going to talk about that part today. Drinking water to help get the lymphatic system moving so that you can get the fat out of your system. So water, just going to put this in there. Half your body weight in ounces of water is what you should be drinking unless your primary care doctor or your cardiologist or your kidney specialist tells you otherwise.
Mm. Can you say that again for the people in the back?
Make sure you're drinking your water, half your body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you should be drinking almost a gallon of water. So a gallon is 128 ounces. And if you're 200 pounds, you should be drinking 100 ounces of water per day. And so I can just reach and
Oh, we got props.
Water bottle here. This is what you should be drinking daily, right?
I'm refilled, so that's why I still.
Look, do y'all see? Hold it up there, Javon. Let me just put the effect on it. Hold it up. Look, okay.
I will help you with that.
All right, let me go back. We're getting excited with the effects. Did y'all hear that? If you're 200 pounds, and we've got a lot of folks over 200 pounds, so that means that at the very least, you should be drinking 1 gallon of water every day. Like you said, unless there are certain conditions that would preclude or prevent you, such as congestive heart failure, being on dialysis and things like that. But you should be drinking. That's most people, with the exception of a few.
And so the other thing about drinking water is I get a lot, water tastes bad. I have to have ice in it. My water bottle allows my water to get too warm. So there are a lot of reasons, there's a lot of reasons why people don't drink water, but the more water you drink, the better it tastes, honestly. So your body adapts. And then there is I'm not affiliated, I don't get any kickbacks from this, but there's a water bottle called the Circle. It's CIRKUL. And they sell them at a lot of different stores around, but you can actually put your water in this bottle and then screw the top on. But in the top, there's a flavor cartridge. And then you can drink your water and you can get whatever flavor, they have tons of flavors, but that can help you to get your water intake in. So
what you're telling us is that nobody has an excuse anymore.
Right.
Has an excuse.
I'm good at dispelling all those myths that people give me why they can't do certain things.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a page out of your book. All right. So let's keep it going. These great questions, great answers. So we thank you for that question. By the way, Jasmine Briscoe, I'm looking at our schedule. We are going to feature Jasmine Briscoe. The reason why she asked that is that she is a manual lymphatic drainage massage expert, and she does she's very talented. She's a licensed massage therapist and
excellent.
A ton of other things, Jasmine. You can type all your accolades on there, but we're going to feature Jasmine Briscoe on Telehealth Tuesday on December 10th with also, and we just found out that Dr. William North, renowned, accomplished plastic surgeon, will be there with us. So you definitely don't want to miss on December 10th. But I won't say no more. I don't want to give it away. All right. Let's go back to Miss Lynn. She's got a couple of questions. And Miss Lynn, I'm going to put your questions kind of together. You got them one after the other. So Miss Lynn 601, can you talk more about the visceral fat and what a person needs to start doing to retrain their body if they've been eating one meal a day?
Ooh, okay, perfect. So I'm gonna allow this question to lead me into the how can you make sure you don't gain weight on Thanksgiving and during the holidays. Okay. So number one, we kind of talked about was the hydration level. So you can get your SMART goals started tonight and get your weight and divide that by 2 and see how much water you need to start drinking tomorrow. So that might mean you get a giant water bottle like Javon has here and drink that all up. It might mean you take your favorite 12-ounce cup and calculate how many times you need to refill that. But whatever it is, setting reminders, whatever you have to do, get the hydration. Okay, that's so important because like Jasmine mentioned, the lymphatic system has to use water to work. Number 2 goes into the answering this question the resting metabolic rate. So some people call it the resting energy expenditure. So you want to know your numbers in that regards. We want to know your weight. We want to know your A1C, diabetes risk. We want to know how your kidney function is, but we also want to know what your resting metabolic rate is. The reason why, and it's very specific to you, so I can't say, hey, you need to be eating 1,000 calories. Everybody's different. So if you go and type into Google resting metabolic rate calculator, they'll ask you a couple questions, and this is about as close as you can get at not being here, using our machine, but it'll tell you a number, and that resting metabolic rate number is going to be in units of calories. So it'll say you at rest. So this is like if you were to sleep for 24 hours, how many calories would you burn? And so when you're sleeping, your body is still lubricating your eyeballs, your body is still breathing, your heart is beating, the blood is flowing through your veins. That requires energy. And so if your resting metabolic rate is 1,500 calories, I'm going to say 1,600. If it's 1,600 calories,
Mm-hmm.
you're eating one meal a day, and that one meal is 500 calories. I think of it like your mortgage or your rent, right? So if your rent is $1,600 and you only make 500 or 1,000, you're not making it's a stressful situation, right? So your body's going to start building visceral fat because of that stress that you're putting on your system. So
That's
you
right.
have to get above that resting metabolic rate on a daily basis. So I don't really use no or never too often, but I would say never eat less than your resting metabolic rate, unless of course you're sick or something like that. But you should always hit that number every day. And we have an app that it's free if you guys want to download it from the App Store or Google Play, but it's Cryo and Contour. It's just like the words behind
I'm gonna download it right now.
it. Cryo space and sign Contour. And you can log in your foods that you eat on a daily basis. And then you can put in there your resting metabolic rate, and it'll remind you, hey, you haven't eaten enough today. You need to eat. And so the best thing would be to divide that 1,600 calories, if that's your number, into 4 meals, which would be 400 calories per meal. Okay. And so that may take months to get into practice, to buying the amount of groceries you need, to get used to typing it in. But it's going to be very important that you do that, because if you eat 1,000 calories and you need 1,600, your body's just asking for calories, and it's going to store everything that you eat over that on the weekends, right? Usually. But on Thanksgiving, you're going to eat more than 500 calories usually, right? And so that's going to
Absolutely.
be to weight gain. And so if you're eating 1,600 calories every day, when you eat Thanksgiving dinner, you're not going to gain weight, because your body's like, I'm used to getting food all the time. So I don't have to worry about one meal causing me to gain 15 pounds, because my body can process food like it should. That
So,
makes
so, so, so what now? What I gather from that, that's fantastic information. I hope that answered your question, Miss Lynn. But what I gather from that is when people say, "Oh, doctor, when I don't know what happened. I must have ate, or I ate too much, or I drank too much on this one holiday weekend. All of a sudden, I've gained so much weight because I just no." So what you're saying is this one or two meals Thanksgiving weekend is not going to do it. These people that have been continuing to gain all this weight, they've just been eating too much all along.
eating usually is not eating enough all along.
Or no, you're not eating enough.
Not eating enough. So their body is just used to eating 1,000 calories, and it's starving. So just say, for instance, if your body requires 1,600 calories and you've been eating 400-calorie meals, so that's about this much food. I'm just estimating. But if you're eating this much food every day, and then on Fridays you go out to eat and you eat this much, your body's going to start storing the excess, and that's where you get the visceral fat and the
Oh,
excess
that's yeah,
weight. But then when
yeah.
you do that on Thanksgiving Day, your body's like, oh, yes, let me store all this extra greens and cornbread and turkey and, and dressing, right? And let me save that for tomorrow, because I don't know when he's going to get any extra food in.
Do you feel like that's an issue then, like you were saying? Because there's something that, and I had even gotten from my mother, called it factor, factor meals, and
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, and that the very low calorie, everyone is definitely under 1,000 calories, but I think maybe be under 800. But are you saying that, say, if somebody's always like, a lot of people are doing this kind of like well, not just keto, but like a form of intermittent fasting where they'll just wait all day, not eat anything, and then they may still eat one small meal. And that's what you're saying. That's probably why some of these people who feel like I'm doing intermittent fasting and I keep doing it, I'm not eating that many calories, but I still can't seem to lose the weight. So
Exactly.
that's the category you're
So
talking.
yep. So I hear that all the time. So
Mhm.
intermittent fasting is, it's very important that you know your resting metabolic rate. So when you're intermittent fasting, if your metabolic rate is 1600 and you're going to be eating in a window of 6 hours, then you need to get those 1600 calories in in that 6 hour window. You don't need to just eat a salad. You should be eating. It's like feasting and fasting, right? And then the other thing about that a lot of people don't know is that if you are eating, your window for eating on intermittent fasting is more than 6 hours, you're just not
Mhm.
eating enough. You're you're not eating enough. And so you need to decrease that window down to 6 hours or less. So I usually recommend 24-hour fast once a week
Mhm.
or 18-hour fast a couple times a week. If you want to do it every day on 18 hours, you have to get that rested metabolic rate calorie amount in your system.
Awesome, awesome. Well, all right. Well, let's keep rolling here, Miss Lynn. Oh, she asked a question about talking about visceral fat and how do you retrain. So we answered that, and so she wanted to know, is this covered? So I would say the visits to your clinic and your services, are they
Mhm.
covered by insurance?
That's I think you should write a letter to the insurance company and tell them that they should start covering preventative care. Because
Well,
they only cover it if you have diabetes or um, some medical condition. So they wait till after you're laden with an ailment before they start covering the insurance. And a lot of our patients haven't gotten those diagnoses yet. They might be pre-diabetic or overweight, but not have any health conditions. And so we do not accept insurance at our facility. We accept HSA and FSA, but
hmm
not health insurance because most of the patients are not covered.
And we also have care credit for those who
okay,
will qualify. That's an excellent financing option. We worked with
absolutely.
other companies, but we just didn't like that interest and that fee that they were charging our customers. So that's why we like to work with care credit, because if you pay it off in a allotted amount of time, then you don't pay any interest on that.
Mm,
Yep.
that's
So
excellent. Oh, excellent, excellent questions, excellent answers. Let's see. Let's scroll down here. We have one of our top uh, subscribers and folks here, Miss Dr. Lily James, who I know very well. I've known her for over 40 years. I believe she's my mother. So she says, are you indicating, let's put this up. So Lily James says, are you indicating that if you eat 4 meals daily, regularly, if you eat those 4 meals regularly rather than 2 meals on an irregular basis, in a month's time, would you lose more weight?
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's correct.
That's what they're saying. Huh?
Yep.
Well,
So
there you go.
if you know your resting metabolic rate, make sure you don't eat less than that on a regular basis. So there's usually two numbers. There's a resting metabolic rate, which would be the lowest, and then there's a
Energy expenditure.
total energy expenditure. Thank you. Total energy expenditure will be the high number. So that would be
Yeah.
not just sleeping, but that would be getting gas in your car. That would be walking from the car to the parking lot. That would be any exercise that you do. All that included in the total energy expenditure. And when you eat above that energy expenditure number, that's when you would gain weight. So there's a range,
Yeah.
right? And everyone's range is different. So that's why it's important that you go to a one of the websites and look up the resting metabolic rate, and get your specific number for you, and then you know exactly how much you should be eating.
And another thing about that, the resting metabolic rate will be here. The total energy expenditure will be here. As long as you're eating within there, you can lose the weight. But if you, say, for example, start a new exercise program, or you just really start working out more and more and really become more active during the day, those numbers change.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of people that come to us that, let's say, their resting metabolic rate was here, so they're
Mm-hmm.
eating where they need to, but then they immediately go and start working out every day and do strenuous exercise every day. That number will raise up, and therefore, if they're not increasing their calories along
Mm-hmm.
with it, they're going to kick their body back into starvation mode. So
Mm.
that's an important part of that also.
Excellent point. Excellent points. Well, I hope that answers your question, Mom. Uh, let's see. That's excellent. Great question. Excellent points. Ms. Lynn says very good info. Thank you. Um, we've got a couple of folks. They're just making comments. They wanted you all to know that this is very good information. They're
Thank you.
very appreciative.
And,
All
and,
right.
and that's really good, because one of the main things that we want to do with Cryo and Contour is not just help people to lose weight, but we want to get the information out there. We want to inform people, because, like what she was saying with the insurance component, they only cover it if you're already sick. But what we're trying to stress to everybody is you need to do something so that you don't get
So
sick.
you don't get sick.
You can come to us and we can help you live longer and improve your quality of life as you get older. So that's what we're really focused on. That's why I said we're not really helping people to just lose weight. We're turning you into that person that's living that healthy lifestyle. And that's what's really important, the education part, the that component.
And then when you think
You know
about
what?
what, when you're, we don't tend to think about this question, but when you're 75 years old or you're 80 years old, what do you want to be able to do? Do you want to be cruising on cruise ships, or do you want to be laying in bed? Do you want to still be working? Do you want to be able to get off the floor? Right? That's a big deal when you're 80 years old. Can you get up off the
Absolutely.
floor?
Right.
So you
Absolutely.
have to start now. You can't wait till you're 80 and then start say you're going to go to the gym because you can't get off the floor. That usually doesn't work. You have to have, physical therapist in the house and, all the kind of thing. So start now. Start lifting weights, start walking, start working on your balance. Balance on one foot when you're in the grocery store holding onto the cart, waiting in line. You can balance on one foot, alternate, and that's actually helping to build your balance so you don't fall. If you trip over a rug, are you going to go to the ground, or are you going to catch yourself before you
Right,
hit,
right.
I mean, it's a serious
Mhm.
serious question.
Yeah, it's time to prioritize your health now. A lot of people, they get so busy in the rigmarole of life that they prioritize everything else except their health. They spending all this money on new cars and clothes and all this stuff,
Mm.
Right.
Mm.
activities and
Oh,
food, right? Going out to eat, but they're not prioritizing their health. Sometimes you got to spend money on what matters. So
absolutely.
that's a real important part of it.
Absolutely. And you know what you all touched on, the fact that, both of us at our respective practices, we're into primary care or preventative, but which, and, we're not a politically affiliated organization. So I'm going to be careful. I'm going to stay away from that. But the crazy thing is, right? And people say that they didn't want well, for the people that voted a certain way and said they didn't want universal health care some years ago, and even up until elections that have taken place now, you got to think about it. No matter who you voted for or what you believe in, if you continue living, you're going to get old one day. And so you talk about the balancing issue, but especially the preventive care issue. People are like, well, and even from the country's perspective of not covering certain things, like you're saying, not covering certain illnesses and preventive care. So we're waiting until people get sick, even though we are primary preventive care organizations and clinics, but we can't even do our job. We're prevented from all the way at the top. And then the people, our friends and the citizens and our patrons, our family members, we say, hey, come on in. You need to get your labs checked. Don't just come in, when it's time to cut off your toe from
Right.
diabetes. Don't
Yeah,
just come in when
Right.
it's time to go on dialysis. But this could have been prevented.
that's right. That's so
You
Yes.
know,
true. And I
this
think
is
people
preventing
don't realize
this.
they've been, I don't know if the word is spoiled, but they kind of been spoiled with having healthcare insurance paying for certain things that they feel like they shouldn't have to pay for weight loss or
Right.
shouldn't have to pay for preventative care sometimes. And that's actually kind of what the insurance company wants. So they don't really get money for you going to your primary care
Mhm.
doctor visits. They get money from the surgery, like you mentioned, the amputation of your toe, and then it's your foot, and
Cancer
then you need a
treatment.
heart treatment. They get
Mhm.
money from that. And so that's what their goal is.
It is. Don't look, guys. Don't even get me started because I
Uh,
don't, because it's so frustrating. But the good thing is that the positive note is that, hey, we are here. Cryo and Contour is here in Tennessee, and I'm sure they probably do. At the end of the show, we ask all our guests to say, hey, what are you doing? How can we get in touch with you? And so if you all are doing telemedicine, we do it at Good Faith Wellness Center. So these are two, although we're only two organizations, but it's kind of like each one reach one.
Yeah.
The people that want to lose weight, and you guys can bring them in because you got the Cryo Contour, and so everybody these days want to do BBL, they want to do lift this up, suck this in, do all that. So but that is a good way to bring them in, and now we can do each one reach one. Tell your friend, tell one person. So we're just two organizations, but every patient that I have, that you guys have, if every one of them reaches another person, man, this we can make some
Change
change
a
here.
lot of lives,
right.
yeah.
Exactly.
And you mentioned that surgery. So we do have cryotherapy, which is a full body cryo sauna. Takes a temperature around you to below zero temperatures, and it puts your body for a short period of time, 3 minutes, into a fight or flight response. And so that tells your body, hey, your brain is like, get out of there. It's too cold. What are you doing? So it will decrease the pain receptor, increase the chemicals that decrease pain in your body so that you actually can run away from the danger. But there's no danger. It's just a little cold. But it helps improve your joint pain for some people who have arthritis, or if you have had an injury, it helps you to heal faster because of the increased blood flow to your muscles and tissues. And so that's one thing that allows us to help people's bodies heal itself. So it's
Right.
not
Right.
necessarily a medicine that you're getting, but you're actually using your
Mhm.
body's own natural remedies to actually heal. And then as far as the contouring goes, we do have people that come in for contouring, but they end up leaving um, with the contour and also a healthier lifestyle. So I get to encourage
Mm.
them to maintain this by changing lifestyles. Everyone gets a nutrition consultation when they do any any contouring with us. And sometimes I don't recommend the contouring.
Yeah.
He,
I
he,
mean, we've had situations where, because that's one of the important things of coming to a physician for that
Hmm.
type of service,
Absolutely.
because you can just go anywhere and get body contouring and they'll let you come in, then you'll leave. But they don't realize how the technology actually work. Is if you're not hydrated, for example, your body won't react to the radio frequency energy
Hmm.
that's causing the fat to melt as well. If you're we have muscle building machines. If you're not eating enough, if your body is in starvation mode, your body is pretty much actively fighting against what the machines are trying to do. So when you come to us, before we even let you just do the machines, we make sure that your body is in the right state to be able
Hmm.
to get the maximum benefits from the machines. And like she was saying, I remember, and this happened on several occasions, but I remember one guy in particular, he came in for our fat melting machine. And Dr. Poe said, all right, well, before you do that, let me just give you a nutrition plan. Because he just wanted to lose a little weight around his belly. He came back in a month, he had lost 20 pounds. And all she did was make him eat more food. So he
Really.
need the machine at that point. So with that
Mm.
being said, we're not just trying to get you to come in and do machines so we can make a whole bunch of money off of it. No, we're trying
Mhm.
to educate you and put you in a position where you can live the kind of lifestyle where you don't even need to use machines. You know?
Man, that's awesome, man. That is amazing work because so many other people, like you said, they're making thousands, even millions on this kind of stuff all over the country, and it's hard to find people that sincerely, truly want to do the right thing and do the right thing for the patients. So that's great to know. Let's get through. Let's see if we can get through a few more. Dr. Poe, Javon, do you all? Let's see, we got 7:52. Are you all good to go? Maybe another 5 to 10 minutes. Are you all okay to
Oh
We're
yeah.
okay.
hang
Hey,
in?
hey, we're good to
Okay.
go. This is what we do. We get excited on educating people. Like I say, my
Yeah.
background is education and business, so I was a teacher for years. So I like
Okay.
to educate.
That's awesome. Yeah, because we are. I've got them. The questions are still kind of coming in. So let's see.
I know we
Uh,
have the IV hydration one. You want to answer that real
yeah,
quick?
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. Well, Jasmine, let me go back to Jasmine. She said, let me put this up on the screen. Would you recommend IV hydration along with post-operative recovery to help with vitamin enhancement to boost results?
That's a good question. So,
Great.
recent research has shown that when people are vitamin D deficient, they
Hmm.
are more likely to have post operative infections. So I
Hmm.
thought that was
Yes,
really
sir.
amazing. So if you got vitamin D prior IV, hydration with vitamins, including vitamin D, that can actually help improve your outcomes in your surgeries post op. So I think the IV hydration is one thing. It's not mandatory, so you could drink your water. You could drink your water, but for the people who have the means to get the IV therapy, I think that it's beneficial. Anytime you're more hydrated, um, it's going to be a plus, a win-win, especially when it's related to surgery. And then those vitamins that are available, they have so many research that's been done on like glutathione, zinc, vitamin C. Those are
Absolutely.
the main ones that help with healing. I think it's a great idea.
Absolutely. Great question. Let's see. I think T. Nicole Spies. All right. Good to see you. I think she said, I think this might have been, referencing something we were discussing earlier. She had asked, is that an absolute fast? I'm not sure which question what do you all remember what we were talking about?
I remember talking about fasting because you had brought it up, but I do have people that come in and they, say that they've been fasting, can't lose weight, and usually it's because they're not getting enough calories in. So I just get their resting
Oh,
metabolic rate and make sure that they're getting their calories in. So no matter how many hours you fast, you still need to get your resting metabolic rate calories in. In addition to that, once you're fasting beyond 18 hours, that's considered a fast. So people who say, "Oh, I fasted 12 hours. Oh, I stopped eating at midnight and then I eat at 11." That's not really a fast. That's just cutting out meals.
right.
So that's not necessarily healthy because that causes your body to go into that starvation mode that we talked about.
And when she said she would recommend fasting for 24 hours once a week, she meant water fast,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
drinking
drinking
water.
water. So not
Water.
quite absolute, but water fast.
Okay. All right.
Always
Very,
hydration is
very good.
always a priority.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, we hope that answered your question. And we got a little bit behind there because I know we were just having such a fantastic discussion tonight. Let's see. Let's go down with.
Yeah, and we do help people. I'm answering Shamika's question while you're looking up the next one. We do help people to gain weight. The whole thing is like Dr. Post said, know your numbers. So, like we said, you have your resting metabolic rate is the minimum amount of calories that you need to eat.
Mhm.
Your no, I forgot the
Total.
TEE.
yeah. So
Total.
your
energy
total energy
expenditure.
expenditure
Yeah.
would be to maintain your current weight.
Mhm.
That's you think of it like that, to maintain. So if you want to gain weight, you will eat above that number. So the idea is not to just eat a whole bunch of carbs or bad foods, which carbs are good. You just have to eat everything in moderation, but you have to make sure that you have your numbers right. How much protein, how much fats, how much carbs you need to be eating a day. So if you want to gain weight, um, just increase your calories, but make sure you have that set amount of carbs. Your macros is what they call it. Make sure you have your set amount of carbs, proteins, and fats.
And another thing that you can do the opposite. I don't necessarily recommend that because I don't think it's a healthy way to gain weight, but people gain weight not eating enough. And so if you want to
No,
if you want to eat, you have to make sure you're getting all your nutrients in. So you may need to add in some supplements as far as multivitamins and things like that.
Mhm.
And in regards to multivitamins, when you are buying multivitamins, you want to make sure that the label has a specific seal or marking on that lets you know what's on the label is actually what's in the bottle, because they've done research and show that some of these bottles have sawdust,
Mhm.
laxatives,
Thyroid medicine.
thyroid
Mhm.
hormone in there, and it's not on even on the label. And so you're, oh, my stomach is, I think this pill is working, but it's just not necessarily what's on the label. So it has a GMP or USP label on that bottle to make sure that it's been monitored by an outside facility or company that says actually what's on the label is what's actually in there. So you always want to make sure you're getting enough nutrition. If you are eating above your TEE to gain weight, you want to make sure that you're eating healthy foods, not necessarily any processed foods, because that can diminish your health.
Mm. Man, that's fantastic. That's fantastic information.
Yeah.
Let's see. I hope that answered your question there, Shamika. We got Dr. Spies is asking us again. Welcome back. We've got another great question. So, how can a diabetic benefit from this type of service?
Those are my favorite
Right.
patients. So I love taking care of diabetics because it's so rewarding because they get off their medication. When they're doing our weight loss program with the meal replacements, they actually, I cut, if they're on insulin, I cut the insulin in half that first day at the screening visit. We cut the
The
insulin in half.
first day.
Yep, the first day.
All
So
right.
if you're not using our meal replacements, which they are available through our website, but if you're not using our meal replacements, you can actually do it with regular food, um, cutting out carbs to a minimum about 75 grams of carbs per day, and that actually forces your body to make its own carbs. I could say for simplicity, it allows your body to make its own carbs by using your fat, and so you require less insulin because you're not taking in as much carbs. But you do need to be eating 4 times a day. So that four meals a day actually helps decrease the stress on your body. So I just want to
Mhm.
say a little, might take a little bit of time, but I think it's very important. So the way
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
explain diabetes to my patients is that it is a symptom of stress. So if you are running from a dog, a wild
Mhm.
dog, right? Your body's under stress. Your brain's like, oh my gosh, this is stressful. Let me make sure I push sugar into the bloodstream so the muscles can have it to run
Mhm.
away. There's two sources of energy, main source of energy that our bodies use. One is fat, one is sugar. And so we can use those things to get energy pretty quickly, sugar more quickly than fat. So if you're running from a dog, your brain is sending the signal to push that sugar into the bloodstream so your muscles can use it.
Mhm.
If 5 minutes you run away, climb over the fence or whatever, you're good, right? But if that dog is chasing you for a month because you're taking care of a sick family member, or years because you're on this job that's stressing you out, or whatever the stressful situation is, your stress level is telling your body that you're running from a dog.
Hmm.
And that high blood sugar, when you go to your doctor's office and say your blood sugar is high, you got to do something about it, right?
That's
And
right.
so a lot of times, what our doctors tell us is like, you got to stop eating. Not they don't say stop eating, but like you got to cut your calories. I've had patients come in and say, my doctor told me I need to eat 1,200 calories, and I'm like,
No.
we're under more stress.
That's right.
Once we increase the calories, that's basically reassuring your body that everything is okay, and then your body stops forcing sugar into the bloodstream, and then that in turn creates a lower blood sugar amount, and then whatever you do in the gym or walking, using your muscles to burn the excess sugar helps regulate those blood sugars.
Absolutely. Let's say we'll take a couple more here. I know we just went over the 8 o'clock, so I know we definitely appreciate your time. We think that we are thanking our wonderful host for sticking with us. So we'll take. So look, the next. I'm just going to say the next three people who get a question in. We're going to take the next three questions. But in the meantime, so next question: Is it really healthy? Is it really healthy to eliminate meat from your diet? And then they said that I have a hard time getting my daughter enough protein because she recently decided to become vegan. So they say, is it healthy to eliminate meat from your diet?
Okay, so it's healthy. I do not like giving blanket statements.
Right.
Um, but I would say this: meat actually has an essential vitamin that we need. B12 helps us to turn fat into energy. It also helps us to make our red blood cells to get energy throughout our body and oxygen. And so, if you're not eating meat, then a lot of times your B12 levels will be low, and that can cause other problems. We do food sensitivity testing here, and it tests for over 900 food items. And so some people will come in and they are having, stomach upset, bloating, acne, just different things, ailments, and they're concerned. And when they do that food intolerance test, there's items that pop up that they should not be eating. So I have had a couple of patients, and their bodies do not like when they eat meat. And so they get sick, they have reactions, and they didn't know that it was necessarily from the meat, but when they eliminated meat, they found that they felt so much better, more energy, better sleep, all kinds of things. And so sometimes it can be a particular meat. So I had one patient who chicken was on their list, and they had insomnia from chicken. They said after they stopped eating chicken, that was the best sleep they ever had.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it's interesting how the body works. But I wouldn't I'm not personally a vegetarian or a vegan, but I wouldn't tell people in general that they need to stop eating meat. I think it's beneficial for us. I think that's why we have different types of teeth in our mouth, some for vegetables and some for tearing meat. So I think meat is actually beneficial in our diet. But if you are eliminating meat, then you should make sure that you have your vitamin levels checked to make sure that you're on track there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Intermittent fasting.
Antonio says he wanted to clarify. Let's put that up there. Wanted to clarify is intermittent fasting good or bad for the weight loss?
Intermittent fasting, I believe, is good for the weight loss. Very good. So once you exceed that 18 hours of fasting, your body starts to break down old cells. It's called autophagia. And so any old cells that you have in your body starts using that as food. And so you want to make sure you are fasting for at least 18 hours when you do fast. When those old cells are removed, your body does have the ability to make new cells, and it uses the food that you eat during that eating period to make new cells. So you can end up having a whole new liver, do a year of intermittent fasting, and your skin actually clear, those old skin cells. It's amazing what your body can do when you treat it properly. But again, if you're eating a salad, one salad from 18 hours worth of fasting, it's not necessarily going to be enough to build up those new cells. So you're going to have to make sure you check what your resting metabolic rate is and make sure you're eating above that number during your eating time. But that's pretty much intermittent fasting. You can pick what time when you want to do intermittent fasting. So some people do intermittent fasting every day. So they would go 24 hours without eating. So they would eat, first thing in the morning. I like to use my sleeping time as a part of my fasting to make it easier. But you fast for 24 hours and then the next day you eat. Um, Dinner to dinner, that's a fast, right? So if you ate dinner, that's a 24-hour fast, and then you eat dinner the next day. So it's not necessarily eating dinner and then not eating till the next morning. That's a 36-hour fast. So that's a little bit more difficult for people who are just starting out. So you can do the 24-hour fast once a week. That is considered intermittent fasting, and that's beneficial for your body. Or you can do that daily, where you just make a eating window of 6 hours or less, but you're getting in that resting metabolic rate amount of calories in each day.
Excellent, man. Fantastic. I think we took two more. We have one more. If one more is going to come on in. In the meantime, I think in the meantime, we're going to take one more question, guys. Okay. Jasmine says, "Thank you so much, guys. Very inspiring and informative, and we appreciate you, Jasmine, and all of you for always being here supporting Telehealth Tuesday. This is such a great platform, having all the experts, people that are full of knowledge and expertise, giving this to you 100% free. Like, hey, we don't make a dime on this, okay? We are doing this for you because the guests, all the experts and guests on the show, they care about what they're doing. They're passionate, and we love what we do for our patients. So let's see if one more question rolls in. In the meantime, I would love to give you guys the floor to let us know quickly in like 2 minutes, what Cryo and Contour, where you're located, how they can contact you, and do you do any telemedicine, and can they order your products online?
Sure.
Yep. So we're located in Nolensville, Tennessee. Our address is 7180 Nolensville Road.
Come visit us.
Yep, come visit us. We're Suite 2E. Yeah, we have weight loss, body contouring, as well as aesthetics, hormone therapy. We even do the IV fluids that someone asked about,
Right.
and then of course the cryotherapy component of that.
And you can also visit us on online platforms like Facebook. So it's just at Cryo and Contour. It's CRYOAND and not the symbol.
Ampersand.
And then on Instagram, we are on Instagram as well. So it's cryo_AND_contour. And then our website, which we did mention, you can purchase the meal replacements on there, as well as we have hair replacement, or sorry, hair replacement, but hair restoration supplies on there. We have facial washes and just get your skin healthy. So our website is www.cryoandcontour.com.
Yes, AND, not the ampersand. So it's cryoandcontour.com.
Awesome, man. Look. This has been fantastic. I mean, I've learned some things as well, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I just want to personally thank you. And look, I'm going to get with you guys because like I said, Javon, we talked at one time. I'd love to set something up this week if we can, but we'll talk about that later. But we got to collaborate. We got to collaborate.
Definitely.
And so thank you all again. Amy Mark, my good friend, we appreciate you always being supportive. Dr. Spies wanted us to know in closing, look, there it is. Finally got to catch a live. I loved it. But I do come back and watch weekly when I miss the lives. Thank you all so much. So look, everyone, thank you for watching another episode of Telehealth Tuesday. As always, we truly love all the fantastic audience support and participation each and every week. Next week, we're going to have Dr. Althea Kimball, and she's going to talk to us about managing the holiday blues. And so you definitely don't want to miss that because, look, we've gone from this wonderful couple at Cryo and Contour and talking about how you can maintain and or lose weight. They can get your body sculpted and shaped up. But look, we got to make sure that mental is right as well. Yeah, so we're going to have Dr. Kimball follow this up. So with that said, please join us each and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and bring a friend with you. And don't forget to subscribe to Dr. B TV on YouTube. So coming up, look, if you've got a story, a testimony, or even just something that you want us to cover, don't hesitate to come on this show. Let us know in the comment section. You can go on any one of our pages, Dr. BTV, Good Faith Wellness Center, anyone, and let us know what topics you'd love for us to cover, or if you would like to be a guest on the show. So, lastly, we want you to know, at Good Faith Wellness Center, one more shameless plug, hey, no co-pays for new patients the rest of the month of November or the entire month of December. You'll never find that. You're not going to find that. So you got to come on. This month or next month, Good Faith Wellness Center, you're a new patient, we will waive your copay. God willing, we will see you next week, always on a Tuesday. This is the place where we treat and discuss mind, body, and soul. And remember, true wealth begins with good health. Bye for now. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health.